Hi everyone, it's Andrew Major, clinical hypnotherapist and psychotherapist. Today we're going to be talking about rumination. Now we all ruminate, don't we, from time to time, but what if you find yourself ruminating instead of doing something else, maybe avoiding things, really focusing on problems, trying to solve the unsolvable and getting stuck in that cycle which just makes things worse. So in this video, I want to explain what rumination actually is and share with you 5 steps that can help you stop your rumination. So let's get started. So what is rumination? Well, the dictionary defines rumination in a couple of ways. Firstly, a deep or considered thought about something, the action or the process of thinking deeply about something. Secondly, the action of chewing the cud. Cows slow down their rumination. And actually I really like that, because we often hear, don't we, people say, I've just been chewing the cud, when they're really thinking slowly and carefully about something. So it fits well. Now we can all be deep in thought sometimes, can't we? It really does distract us and it makes our minds go elsewhere, doesn't it, as we focus on a thought, a past experience or a situation, and we do get stuck in our heads for a few moments. And sometimes that can be a really good thing, can't it? Like remembering those pleasant experiences, what we enjoyed at the weekend. Maybe remembering that song that we heard on the radio on the way into work today. And when you're doing that, it does give you a boost and nobody else knows what's happening but you. So rumination is a natural response, but rumination is also a natural response to problematic situations because your brain wants to solve problems. It's what it does so well. So why does thinking deeply about something become such a problem? Well, it's really linked to depression and anxiety, because when we're dwelling on a problem or we're ruminating, it might seem like it's helping you in that moment with a sense of taking action towards that situation, particularly if it's unresolved or even distressing. So it might feel like you're resolving things in the short term, but actually it makes things harder for you because it's really then hard to move on from those situations. So rumination actually becomes obsessive overthinking, which encourages more dwelling on the negative aspects of your past or future, and that leaves you stuck in that spiral of negative thinking. You develop that depressive habit, which really engages the emotional part of your brain and causes more anxiety and more obsessive thinking. Rumination can really have a big impact on your life too, and many mental health conditions can cause rumination, but rumination is also a sign or a symptom of a mental health condition, such as depression, for example, ruminating on very negative or self-defeating thoughts. Maybe you have a belief that you're unworthy or just not good enough, or doomed to fail even. Anxiety, of course, can cause us to ruminate on specific fears, such as the idea that something bad is going to happen to you or your family, or ruminating more generally on scanning the environment perhaps for things that could go wrong, fearing the worst, right? And OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, again encourages you to feel overwhelmed by these intrusive thoughts and this belief about things which could go wrong, and then to relieve those thoughts you might engage in rituals such as checking door locks, cleaning or counting, and there's lots of rituals that people do. So why do we do it? Well, of course this is all down to our brain's negative bias. The more we focus on negative things, it actually reshapes our perception into seeing negative things and focusing on more and more negative outcomes. It might be that you're so focused on thinking about the negative events in your life that you entirely miss the positive things which have happened to you today, yesterday, or over the past few days. But the good news is, of course, that we can rewire our brains. We can change the way we think. We can change our brains. We're not fixed with those habits. We can develop new positive habits that help us think and focus more positively, that helps us move onwards and upwards. And if you like videos like this, please like and subscribe. It really helps. So how do we stop it? How do we stop ruminating? Well, there are lots of strategies that can help with rumination, but here are the 5 steps that I use with my clients in my clinic to help them shift out of their mind and away from obsessive thinking. So step 1 is all about making a commitment to yourself actually. Really be ready for change. Recognize that rumination is a lie. It's not solving anything. And really commit yourself to making that change. And it's going to be a change you're determined to succeed too. So be absolutely positive about that. And that really sets you up nicely for success. Step 2, really notice your thoughts. Recognize when you are ruminating and get really good at taking control of your ruminations. Now, with practice and repetition, you can actually stop your thoughts. Tell yourself, no, I'm not going to think about this now. Say stop, I'm not engaging. Continually interrupt that pattern and really label it. This is rumination. And when you do, you attribute it to a pattern that doesn't serve you. And this is really helpful at those times when those thoughts just pop up, because we can't always control when thoughts pop up, right? But we can control how those thoughts develop. So by taking control of our thoughts and labeling it as unhelpful, we'll stop it in its tracks. And keep practicing it, because it will develop a new habit that really serves you well. Step 3. Now, if there is a problem that does need to be solved, schedule some time to do this, really, in a nicely solution-focused way. Find the next step towards solving that issue. So put some time into your calendar, ideally during the day, not at bedtime. And this means that you will have a calmer mind at bedtime too, because you've had some time to do that productive thinking during the day. So keep it nicely solution-focused by writing down your problems on paper, and then make a list of all the possible solutions that you can think of. Try not to get too hung up on finding the perfect solution. Focus on the things that you have the power to change, rather than the circumstances and the realities beyond your control. Once you have some solutions, just ask yourself what's the next small step you would take towards solving one of them. Because it's not about solving everything at the same time, it's about that first action or step that's really going to make a big difference. Step 4, just stop and go and do something different when it happens. Get yourself involved in the world around you and the experiences around you, because when you do, it actually has a really positive impact on the chemicals in your mind and body, reducing stress hormones and boosting things like endorphins, serotonin and oxytocin, really boosting your mood and helping you to shift your focus to the more positive and optimistic part of your brain too. So it might be going for that walk in a place that you really enjoy being, and whilst you're doing that walk, making sure you're not ruminating, of course, at the same time. And a great thing to do then to ensure that doesn't happen is to be really mindful whilst you're on that walk. So think about your senses. Maybe notice one visual sight that you really like. It might be the trees on the horizon or even the birds on the lake, but take some time to look at these things and really enjoy it for a minute or two. Maybe even find a smell that you enjoy, maybe walking past that bakery shop, for example. Find one sensation when you're walking, maybe the wind or the sun on your face. A taste even, maybe it's treating yourself to that ice cream whilst you're walking, and really noticing the different sensations as you taste it and you enjoy it. Focus on all those lovely sensory experiences as you walk and really enjoy them. Now, many of my clients find that as they do these things, they begin to feel more relaxed, and actually they find when they come back to doing whatever they were doing, maybe their work for example, they actually find that they have some solutions to issues which are outstanding. They actually have some new ideas in mind. So you'll find that your brain will really benefit from taking these positive breaks. Step 5, so think about seeking out some professional support, because it really is a great way to make some positive changes to help you cope so much better with stress and anxiety, which can lead to ruminating and depressive thoughts. As a clinical hypnotherapist, I use solution-focused approaches with my clients, combining positive talking therapy with hypnosis. And this means that we have the advantage of being able to create positive changes subconsciously too, because as you actually relax and listen, it helps you consider the solutions and possibilities from our discussions. So actually taking time to find the right type of support for you and the right type of therapy is something I'd really encourage. So here's a quick summary of the steps that we've covered today that will help you stop ruminating. Step 1, make that commitment to yourself. Be committed to changing and be determined to succeed. Step 2, start to notice your thoughts and take control. Label those ruminating thoughts as unhelpful. Step 3, schedule that problem-solving time. Spend some time being productive about your concerns and just find the next step. Step 4, stop and go and do something else instead, something you enjoy doing. And whilst you're doing it, be mindful and use your senses to notice what's going on around you. Step 5, seek out specialist support. Lots of therapies available, so take the time to find the right approach for you. But I want to hear from you. Let me know what you think. Are you struggling with rumination? What does it feel like? And what works for you? Let me know in the comments. And I look forward to seeing you next time.